beforehand, but I think he's anti-Semitic. Like, the things he's saying bother me. And there's a lot of people in my mind who follow Kanye. They're rabid Kanye fans. And the things he starts saying to me can leak down.
What is the biggest thing that he said? I know in general.
To me, Hitler wasn't a bad guy.
That was crazy.
Like,
what did he say? What was his exact? He loves Hitler or something like that.
He loves
everybody.
He was with Alex Jones, and Alex Jones was trying.
He was also wearing a mask.
Yeah, he was trying to throw him a lifeline.
Yeah,
Alex Jones was trying to.
Alex Jones
Kanye.
was the voice of reason.
Yeah, and he's like, no, you don't mean Hitler was a good guy. He's like, no.
Well, that's not what you mean.
Yeah,
Hitler's terrible. Yeah, for Alex to have to tell him Hitler was terrible is pretty funny.
So if you're going down that way, I don't know.
I think the way he's going down is he's never. I don't think he's experienced anything like. Of course, he's never experienced anything like this, right? Where everything's taken away from him. I mean, he had to stop construction on his house. He's losing all of his money, all of his sponsorships. Everything's gone.
Yep.
All of his connections to all these businesses, connections to banks, everything's gone. It's kind of wild to see. Because we've never seen that before, where a guy is a superstar and a billionaire, and he says some awful shit, and then everything's taken away from him.
And this may be Kanye's personality. And in a way, he's also, you can listen to him talk many times, be like, he's a genius, he's brilliant, like the things he's saying. What he did, which may be unique, and some could say maybe they respect, he didn't take a step back. He kept saying things, and he wouldn't apologize. And now you can be like, well, if he didn't think he did anything wrong. But in the end, it came across he's just, to me, very anti-Semitic. I mean, if you're defending Hitler, you've gone pretty far.
I think he's also mentally ill.
Well, he's bipolar. I think he said that, yeah.
Well, I think he said recently he's not bipolar, but he might be autistic. But, I mean, it's self-diagnosis. He was definitely medicated at one point in time, right? Remember when he got kind of chubby and he was like really like sedated? But then he hated that. He didn't want to be that, and then he got off of that. And I had him on the podcast, and you get a chance to see how his mind works. It's like he works in these rants, and he says something, and he keeps talking, and you got to like stop and wait. What did you just say? Like, what did you just say? You got to kind of bring him in, but he doesn't want to have a conversation. He wants a rant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, remember when he sat down and ranted with Trump? Like in front of Trump and is like saying that.
You mean recently?
No, way back in the day with the Make America Great Again when he was in the office and Trump's just sitting there listening to him. Kanye's saying a bunch of wild, crazy shit. And Trump's like, interesting. With Trump as being like the most persuasive, the best version of Trump as a manipulator and a businessman. He's like letting Kanye. Because remember when Trump got elected, they invited all these celebrities to come to the celebration. Everybody's like, fuck that.
Right.
Nobody went. Yeah. Kanye was the one guy that embraced Trump. Yeah, look at this. He's sitting there with Jim Brown. And he's like, interesting. And he's like letting Kanye rant and go off and say all this crazy shit with a Make America Great Again hat on.
So, like, for him, that's the thing with free speech. Like what I said.
Play some of that.
Like Elon booted him for doing the Nazi. He made a Jewish star with the Nazi symbol in it.
Yes.
And for Elon, that was the line.
Right.
So there's always a line, but that is the complication of free speech.
Yeah, he made fun of Elon. Elon said that's okay. He said, but this is not okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is just like, I mean, what are you doing? You're connecting the star, David. Like, listen, play some of this.
And really, the reason why they imprisoned him is because he started doing positive for the community.
Look how Trump's like, yes, interesting.
He wasn't just one of a monolithic voice, but he could wrap people around. So there's theories that there's infinite amounts of universe and there's alternate universe. So it's very important for me to get Hoover
I'd love to know what's going on in Trump's head right now.
Interesting. Look at him nodding.
He was doing positive inside of Chicago, just like how I'm moving back to Chicago, and it's not just about getting on stage and being an entertainer and having a monolithic voice that's forced to be a specific party. People expect that if you're black, you have to be Democrat. I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrat. They say, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the father.
See, you get
I
it.
saw,
You get it.
I
You
sort
get
of
it.
picture like just a mouse running around on a circle in Trump's head right now as he's going around, like trying to occupy
Look at
himself.
him. I like how he has this like serious consideration. Like,
I interviewed Trump. They called me up.
Yeah.
And they want our crowd, obviously, to do it. So this is when he was president.
Right.
Probably I got a lot of hate from it, but he pulled me in. And when he realized I wasn't like out to get him, he opened up. He was nice to me, but he pulled me into this, they had a little like souvenir room is what I would call it, with like artifacts. He goes, Dave, come in here. And so I go into the little room. He looks at me and goes, this is the Monica Lewinsky room. He just started laughing.
the Monica Lewinsky room. What a time.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive if that guy was the president. How crazy is that?
I mean, that to me, he changed like.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Nothing like the White House. You know, it's the whole deal, right? How are you? Looking at you. Okay, I'm always here.
Look, as a comedian, that guy was like the greatest amount of ammunition and information and the greatest resource a comic could ever hope for.
Before he was elected, I said I would vote for Trump because of what you just basically said. I'm like, I hate politics. I'm like, I think he'll break it. Now, did I anticipate like the amount of hate in this country has gone both sides? Just
also the denying the results of the election, that was where it got crazy, because the saying the election was rigged and that's a threat to the foundation of our democracy. And I believe that if you're going to say the election was rigged, you have to have rock solid, very specific information that points to that you could show the world. And I don't think that was the case. I don't know how much election fraud exists. I know it's less than zero. There's no election fraud. There's fraud in everything. If you don't think that there's people that are running some sort of an election center that are Democratic centered that wouldn't do something that they think would help the world by making sure that someone who they think is evil and a very threat to democracy itself, if that person gets into power and you don't think that they would do something to suppress that, whether it's by making voting machines not work correctly or by suppressing ballots or by hiding ballots, there's unscrupulous people that exist. How many of them exist is the question. How much fraud was it on the Republican side? How much fraud was it on the Democratic side? Has it happened? Has election fraud happened in the history of humans? Absolutely.
100%.